home of the Dallas Cowboys. The number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. By the way, tune in this Sunday for a football doubleheader as the Jacksonville Jaguars host the Kansas City Chiefs and the Seattle Seahawks host the Cincinnati Bengals. Presented by Vivid Seats. Pre-game begins at noon Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. It is an honor and a privilege to be here. I hate these people and love them all at the same time. They know it. It's a love-hate relationship inside of Texas. AT&T Stadium, better known as Jerry World, is right across the damn street. The Dallas Cowboys are right across the damn street. Not literally at this particular moment, but this is where they play. This is their home. Everybody shows up on the weekends to watch them, and I predict that for the most part, they'll be watching them win this year until it's really time, and then they'll lose. The Dallas Cowboys are not going to win the Super Bowl. Let's be very, very clear about my position about that. You hear them behind me. I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared, okay? A lot of people will sit up there, particularly with their backs turned, and they'll be like, well, damn, I ain't going to say the wrong. Hell with that. That's how I feel. Now, having said all of that, I got a real secret to let my audience out there nationwide know, because we are in over 250-plus markets across the United States of America. I got news for you. Everybody be teasing me. Oh, Stephen A., you know what you hate on the Cowboys. You know what? You really a Dallas Cowboy fan. I got news for you. Dallas Cowboy fans are fans of me. That's the truth. You understand what I'm saying? They know what time it is. They know the love. They understand. Just because I get on them don't mean I don't love them. It just means I love to hate on them, too. They understand this. I hope the rest of y'all do. I'll get into the Dallas Cowboys and the season I anticipate they will have starting this Sunday against the New York Giants. Eli Manning, Saquon Barkley, no Odell Beckham Jr., but nevertheless, what I expect from the Giants against the Cowboys, who now have Mr. $90 million man in Ezekiel Elliott back. I'll get into all of that a little bit later on in the show. I'll get into a slew of the NFL games, NFL teams who I think is going to win and lose this year, what the biggest storylines I believe are going to be. Obviously, I'm going to do all of that. But the first order of business, and of course I'll get into the Packers beating the Chicago Bears last night. Okay? Mitchell Trubisky, Chicago Bears, you moved up to get Mitchell Trubisky. You passed on Patrick Mahomes. You passed on Deshaun Watson. I wonder how you're feeling about that decision right now. Needless to say, we'll get into all of that as the show progresses today. And, of course, Marcus Spears, former Dallas Cowboy, will be on the show with us at the start of hour number 2 as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, I got to take a shift. I got to shift gears, and I got to get into this news about Antonio Brown. Star receiver, now for the Oakland Raiders, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who got himself in the hot water because after the Oakland Raiders, led by GM Mike Mayock, fined him in excess of $53,000 a couple of days ago because of missed practices and missed team activities. Antonio Brown, practicing yesterday in California, decides to walk off the practice field onto the sidelines where Mike Mayock is standing, and he decides to confront Mike Mayock, the general manager for the Oakland Raiders. Now, I need everybody to listen up because this stuff is important. Where I'm going to go, I'm going to highlight everything for everybody so everybody understands. This man went after Mike Mayock, spewed a bunch of profanity-laced words in his direction, and called him a cracker. That's what he did. Now, newsflash, I am not a white man. Okay? So I am in no position to tell you what the word cracker means to someone white. I tell you what the N-word means to somebody black coming from somebody who ain't black. I can tell you that. I'm an expert on that. But I cannot tell you what the C word means to somebody white coming from a black man. What everyone can deduce based on Antonio Brown's ire, based on his disgust, based on the confrontation that he ultimately had, is that he clearly wasn't happy and didn't mean the C word in a flattery kind of manner. We can say that, all right? That profanity-laced tirade wasn't kind, flattering words. And as a result, the Oakland Raiders are contemplating whether or not to suspend him. Now, in the last hour, it was reported, ladies and gentlemen, that Antonio Brown officially apologized in front of the team and to the team with the captains of the Oakland Raiders standing by his side. That is the story. Here's my take. I don't give a damn about that apology. Not a damn. Let me tell you something right now. Number one on my list, and I say this out of affection for who I'm about to bring up because I'm cool with him. He is now an analyst, I believe, on Fox. I think he's done a great job. But at the time that Michael Vick got himself in trouble in the whole dogfighting scandal, I called it the stupidest move I had ever seen from a professional athlete because his actions cost him over $100 million, and you threw all of that away for a few $1,000s sponsoring dogfighting, schemes. This ranks number 2. Now let me explain to y'all why. Antonio Brown, by finding himself in this situation, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know this, officially has put in jeopardy in excess of $29 million of the $30 million he signed on with the Oakland Raiders for. Now let me read you the story. I want everybody to listen to this because you see, what happens is this. To white kids, black kids, Latinos, it don't matter. When you are an adult, at some point in time, we got to educate youngsters about putting themselves in jeopardy and getting in the way of their own cash. I'm tired of us blowing money over foolishness or 15 seconds of emotional outburst, costing yourself millions upon millions of dollars. And you got a whole bunch of brothers, Latino, white, black, whomever, whole bunch of brothers out there because we all family. And you got people out there sitting up there going like this. No, he probably had a good reason. I mean, he was up. Oh, shut the hell up. That's just stupid. Let me highlight for y'all. I want everybody in here, and I want everybody nationwide to listen in detail to the story that I am about to read you right now, right off my damn phone. I just got this story, all right? It was printed on Pro Football Live. Let's give credit where credit is due. Posted by Mike Florio, okay? Listen to this a couple days, this yesterday. Listen to this story. This is the details. And I'm going to read it from the second graph. It says, Antonio Brown's new contract with the Oakland Raiders carries with it $30.125 million in fully guaranteed money at signing. He already has earned a $1 million signing bonus. Ladies and gentlemen, that leaves $29.125 million left. $14.625 million this upcoming season, and an additional $14.5 million next season. Assuming that a suspension would void the guarantees, which is very possible, right? It says here, the Raiders would be able to cut Brown at any point and owe him nothing. could do it even now, turning the Brown experiment into a $1 million mistake, along with the 3rd and 5th round pick that they gave up. Listen to this. If they were to suspend Brown without pay for week 1 this Monday night, they also could do it at any time during this 2019 season and avoid owing him anything further under the termination pay provision of the labor deal, since a player with 4 or more years of service can collect the remainder of his salary upon being released only if he's on a week 1 active roster. So listen to what this says. If I'm the Oakland Raiders, I gave you a guaranteed $30 million, but because of my behavior, my willingness to be belligerent, childish, truculent, stupid, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I could suspend you for week 1, and the remainder of your deal is virtually unguaranteed. That means week 2 through 17, at any time, I can cut you and don't have to owe you. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm the Oakland Raiders, I suspend him right now. Guess why? It ain't even emotion now. Now it's business. So instead of me having to guarantee your salary, because remember, if I play you week 1, your salary for the entire year is guaranteed, and you get to act a fool anytime you want to. But if I suspend you week 1, but I don't suspend you again, what I hold over your head is anytime you want, anytime I want to. If you act up again, I can suspend you, and I don't have to owe you a dime. Now, if somebody acts belligerent, if they act childish, if they act insubordinate, and I can get away with not guaranteeing your deal, I'm sorry. I'm in a business position. Now it's not emotion. It's about business now. That's the equivalent of you buying a home. I'm just using a crazy analogy here. You buy a home and you're guaranteed every dollar, every mortgage payment. Somebody has said you can do what you want with the house, and damn it, I still got to give you the mortgage money. But because you acted up, the guarantee is now stripped from you, and at any given time, I can void the agreement. That puts me in a position of power. Antonio Brown handed the Oakland Raiders that power on a silver platter, all because he wanted to express himself emotionally and cuss the damn GM out. Now, if that ain't the epitome of stupidity, I don't know what is. So you go from being guaranteed $14 million for this upcoming season, $14 million for next season, and all I got to do to strip that guarantee away, all I got to do to void a permanent, definitive, unwavering $29.125 million agreement is to suspend you for week 1? Please, that brother suspended. That brother suspended. I wouldn't think twice. I wouldn't think twice. Because you know why, ladies and gentlemen? That's what business is. When you are making a business deal, what you are looking to do is to ensure as much monetary value to yourself as possible while giving away as least as possible. The Oakland Raiders knew to get Antonio Brown, we had to forfeit a 3rd and a 5th round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in exchange of that, not only do we acquire him, but we have to commit to giving him $30 million. We committed to giving him $30 million. And the one thing, the one provision that would eradicate the guarantee is that you act like you have some damn sense, and you can't even do that. There's nothing to talk about. If I am the Oakland Raiders, Antonio Brown is suspended right now. Because guess what? I'm going to pay you week 2 through week 17 if you act out, if you act right. I'm going to pay you. You're only going to miss 1 game's pay. But I have the freedom to get rid of you. I have the freedom to cut you. Now, everybody want to talk about Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock is the general manager for the Oakland Raiders. Mike Mayock is an individual that used to work in television doing what I'm doing. Matter of fact, Mike Mayock had me asking the NBA, why the hell don't I have a president of basketball operations job? I mean, damn, we giving television commentators and analysts GM jobs in the NFL. How come I can't get one in the NBA? That's how I was thinking. But I ain't knocking Mayock for taking that deal. And I'm certainly not questioning his football acumen. What I'm saying is, talk about nepotism at its height. The only thing I said about that is that don't happen for the brothers. I say it again, it don't happen for the brothers. John Lynch in San Francisco, even though he played, Mike Mayock, a media dude, don't happen for the brothers like that. But that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is this. Mike Mayock hasn't done a bad job since he arrived in Oakland, and I find nothing wrong that he did here. The Oakland Raiders, Antonio Brown never expressed no problem with them. Antonio wanted to force his way out of Pittsburgh. He did that. He wanted to do so he could get his money. He did that. He showed up on a shot with LeBron James, Maverick Carter, and the crew. Brother got paid, right? Or was about to get paid. This is what he was talking about, right? Well, the Oakland Raiders gave you your money. Guaranteed. You show up in Oakland. You got jacked up feet like a layer of yellow stuff under your feet. Look like a coat of just the nastiness, God. Okay, you tried some cryotherapy treatment in France and forgot to put on your damn socks. That wasn't the Raiders' fault. Then you turned around, and what did you do? You then have a problem with the helmet. Now, the NFL has been sued for billions. They fixate themselves on addressing safety issues in the National Football League. That's what they did. So not only did they come up with new helmets, ladies and gentlemen, that obviously tested and are considered to be considerably safer, and they've been certified, etc., which leaves Antonio Brown's helmets outdated, but they informed the players 5 years in advance this was coming. For the last 5 years, they said, change is coming this year. Here's what we're going to do. Prepare yourself. And in training camp, with 89 players on a roster at least, over 2,000 players in the National Football League, Antonio Brown is the lone player that filed a grievance about his helmet. What? 2,000 plus people playing in the NFL. One guy, complained about the helmet. It was Antonio Brown. He was also the one guy that flew in on an air balloon. All right? He was the one guy that missed practice with bad feet. Oh, by the way, people usually hide their feet when it looked like that. This brother showed it on Instagram. Okay? Then not only that, you go against the National Football League, you're on the phone with the National Football League trying to plead your case to wear a helmet that's been outdated because it's over 10 years old, and you tell the NFL to go F themselves. I'm telling you what I know. Okay? So not only did you do that, then you file a second grievance against them. And then in the process, because your helmet, you didn't like your helmet. Let me ask y'all a question. What does the helmet have to do with running sprints? What does the helmet have to do with running routes and catching passes by Derek Carr? But this brother took his old helmet and went home, but still expected his paycheck. And Mike Mayock and the Raiders was like, nah. You weren't here. Who the hell you think you are to just disappear, don't show up to work, and expect to get paid? This is what I'm talking about. So every time we condone something like that, we're condoning cats on the come up to act that way. Where's that going to get you? It ain't going to get you nowhere. This is the reality of the situation. This is what Antonio Brown did himself. I have not recalled. The only complaint that Antonio Brown had against the Oakland Raiders was the letter announcing his fine. Prior to that, he didn't have any issue with the Raiders, yet he's been causing them trouble since he arrived. So they finally said, you owe us money because you haven't showed up to work, and if anybody else hadn't showed up to work, we would have had to fine them, so we're going to fine you. And this brother was like, yo, nah, it ain't going down like that. Well, yes, the hell it is. Promise you, he going to lose even more money now. This is the reality. So for me, here's my deal. We don't want to go as far as saying, cut Antonio Brown. Let's not be stupid. The brother's all world. One of the greatest wide receivers in the history of the National Football League. Clearly one of the greatest in the game today. Can he be cancerous to a locker room? Evidently so. We got to address that. We can't have Antonio Brown acting the way that he's been acting. But, real world talk. To greatness comes tolerance. Those who are great are tolerated a little bit more than those who are not. And so we want to tolerate Antonio Brown if we're the Oakland Raiders, but only to a point. To me, the Oakland Raiders have been handed an absolute gift. Here's why. Before you had to worry about losing him, having to pay the $30 million, and still leaving him to end up on the Patriots or somebody else who you know would pick him up on the cheap because he's phenomenal. Could you imagine Tom Brady having him to throw the football to? I mean, my God. But in this way, all you have to do, because you got to remember, see, under that scenario, Antonio Brown still gets his $30 million. He just gets to go elsewhere. Under this scenario, where you suspend him, but you keep him, oh, he's in danger of having his whole $30 million deal voided. How much y'all want to make a bet he behaves now? Now, if y'all recall, Antonio Brown was heard a few months ago talking about he don't need the money. It's not that important. Y'all see how players lie sometimes? Y'all see those lies? Let me tell y'all something. I bet you he ain't saying that today. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. I would suspend him right now for only one reason, to maintain the leverage. If I'm the Oakland Raiders, I want the leverage. And making sure that I don't have to guarantee his money gives me the leverage that I need to keep him in line. And I would exercise it without hesitation. Antonio Brown, what time is it right now? It's 11:23 Central Time where we are. 12:23 Eastern Time. If it were me, a suspension would be announced by 12:25. 11:25, I'm sorry. A suspension would be announced within the next 90 seconds. Y'all think I'm joking. You don't know Stephen A. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Coming at you live from Texas Live right here in Arlington, Texas. Home of the Dallas Cowboys. That was Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less. Only at Walmart. By the way, if you're sending your kid off to college this fall, remember that there's one thing college students need more than books or pencils or instant noodles. It's money. And you can send it with Zelle, a quick and easy way to send and receive money right from your banking app. It's easy to use, and the money you send with Zelle goes directly into your college student's bank account, typically within minutes if they're already enrolled. That way, they can pick out the perfect care package for themselves. So look for Zelle in your banking app or get more info at ZellePay.com. Zelle, this is how money moves. Terms and conditions apply.
There's drama in Oakland.